Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. A day after the Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra filed her nomination for the Wayanad Lok Sabha bypoll and declared a total income of over 46.39 lakh in the financial year 23-24, including rental income and interest from banks and other investments, Robert Vadra, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's husband, has been accused of hiding his actual net worth. Now, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has assets worth nearly 12 crore rupees, while her husband, Robert Vadra, has assets worth nearly 66 crore rupees. And this is what the poll affidavit shows. This has been filed by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra herself in Wayanad, and she has signed that affidavit. Now, this is the first time that the asset value of the Vadra couple has been made public. Now, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's most valuable asset is a nearly 12,000 square feet farmhouse near Shimla, which has a current market value of 5.6 crore rupees or thereabouts approximately, as per the affidavit. She also owns a Honda CR-V car worth 8 lakh rupees, which is a gift from her spouse. As per the affidavit, she owns mutual funds at a current market value of 2.24 crore rupees and jewelry worth 1.16 crore rupees. Her husband, Robert Vadra, is much richer, but the income tax wants 80 crore from him in terms of tax dues. Robert Vadra owns a Land Cruiser worth 53 lakh rupees, a Mini Cooper worth 1.5 lakh rupees, and a Suzuki motorcycle worth 4.22 lakh rupees. Now, he's also a partner in various limited liability partnerships worth 35.5 crore rupees. Now, these are Blue Breeze Trading LLP, North India IT Park LLP, and Skylight Hospitality LLP. Now, Skylight rings a bell, doesn't it? Now, the balance in the last LLP for Vadra is 31.93 crore rupees. Robert Vadra also owns various properties in Gurugram worth 27.64 crore at current market value. He had bought these properties at 2.78 crore and invested rupees 3.62 crore in them through development. Now, Robert Vadra has liabilities worth nearly 10 crore rupees as well, as per the poll affidavit filed by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Now, the affidavit also reveals that the Income Tax Department had initiated assessment proceedings on March 28, 2023 regarding returns filed by Robert Vadra over 11 years. From 2010 to 2021, the total demand raised by the IT department from Robert Vadra is to the tune of 80 crore rupees. The biggest demand of 24.16 crore rupees was raised by the Income Tax Department from Robert Vadra for the assessment year of 2019-2020. Now, I'm quoting, the above said orders have been appealed before the CITA. Currently, appeals are pending, the affidavit says, unquote. Now, the Vadra has also shown a total income of 15.09 lakh rupees in 2023-24, down drastically from 55.58 lakh rupees that he declared for 2019-20, while Priyanka Gandhi Vadra declared an income of 46.3 lakh in the last financial year. In fact, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has declared much more income than Robert Vadra in her recent income tax returns through her total assets, though her total assets are much less than Robert Vadra, nearly a fifth of Robert Vadra. For example, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra declared an annual income of 46.3 lakh rupees last financial year and 47.21 lakh rupees in 2022-23, at a time when her husband declared an income of 15.09 lakh and 9.35 lakh as his income respectively. The BJP is now questioning this income disparity as well, saying that assets, income and tax, there is a mismatch.
ऐसा मैंने कहा, ये हलफनामा, ये एफिडेविट कबूलनामा है जो भ्रष्टाचार, नकली गांधी परिवार और उनके जीजाजी रॉबर्ट वाड्रा करते आए हैं।
जब भी उनकी नाकामियां को छुपाना होता है तो जहां भी कोई भी रीजनल पॉलिटिक्स होता है या जनरल होता है तो वहाँ मेरा नाम ज़रूर उठाते हैं कि वो जो लोगों को डाइग्रेस करते हैं जो रियल इश्यूज़ है, पर लोग जागरूक हैं, उनको समझ है।
इनकम टैक्स के प्रोसीडिंग्स में और जगह के प्रोसीडिंग में जो रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट का है, आउट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शन ऐड कर दिया जाए, उसको कहते हैं एडिशन करना होता है। तो जब फाइनल एडजुडिकेशन हो जाएगा तब आरोप लगाए तो समझ में इनके पास कोई और मुद्दा नहीं है।
Now, Multiple reactions that have come in from various corners, and each of them turning around and saying that what's the big deal, and these appeals are pending, and why look into it so much? Shazia Almi, national spokesperson of the BJP with us, Nikul Patel, leader of the Congress party with us, Abhishek Banerjee, columnist with us. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Shazia Almi, where's the problem here? Why is the BJP jumping and perhaps biting at the bit on this poll affidavit?
So first of all, Anand, good evening. First of all, I'd like to say that there is something called the Representation of People's Act, 1951. Anybody who contests elections has to give this affidavit. You cannot mess around with a very sensitive and an important document such as your affidavit as to what your assets are, where you have invested all your investments, all your assets, all your earnings, all your savings, the details of your bank accounts, your bank balances, and all the immovable, movable property that you own has to be there. I have fought an election, so I know all about it. So that is extremely important, and that is what matters. So that is one. And why is it so important? Because here we're looking at a huge discrepancy. Now, you cannot even imagine, like we're looking at arrears of 80 crore of income tax. So imagine what kind of income would there be if you're looking at income tax, which would be an odd 30%, so to speak, of the total. So clearly there is something going on at a very high level. So it's not even small, it's bungling and of a highest order, which has to be unearthed. You know, it is like the National Herald story. What about young Indians and what transpired and the land holdings involved. You look at this, how is it even possible that the amount that is being shown as your asset or as your earnings or your entire balance is much less than the income tax that you owed to the Income Tax Department of India and to India, so to speak, to the government, is lesser than that. It is absolutely, I mean, ludicrous. So something is going on here which must be unearthed. I did not expect them to do such bad bookkeeping that they would be called out like this. I mean, somebody should have advised them, this is something you do not mess around with, because this is something else. And they have enough people who would be looking at it and saying, how is it even possible? So, and it does not, the dots don't connect, because because there has been, and they have been paying income tax, they have been evading tax, there have been notices given to them. So they're various and they're all there in the public domain. You can just go to the IT department and take that out. So how can they run away from that? Clearly a very bad job done. They have botched it up. It's always good to be honest and say, this is what I have. You can have Benami properties. You can give it to your aunts and uncles and rishtedars and stooges and drivers and all of those. That is all done. But here the discrepancy is huge. This is a crazy gap. So this is something that they'll have to answer for.
So Nikul Patel, that's the conundrum. उसके assets मेरे assets से ज़्यादा कैसे, पर उसकी income मेरे income से कम कैसे?
See, my friend Sajja tell that Representative of People's Act 1951. I thought that she might be telling that act is designed by Bharatiya Janata Party. अच्छा हुआ उसने ये नहीं बोला कि ये कायदा हमने बनाया था, नहीं तो बोल देती कि ये कायदा हमने बनाया है. Now secondly, we all know that whenever you are filing a nomination,
from a very serious.
He's answering.
He's
answering. He's answering.
Very serious one.
Try to understand and listen.
It was his opening remark as a jibe at the BJP. So we have to take it like that and then move forward into the argument. Yes, Nikul Patel.
BJP always say that we have done everything in this country for the first time, and that is why I put an opening remark like that. Secondly, my friend told that something going on at high level, and all candidates who are filing such nomination are there. We can say that lutera, क्या बोला, kabulatnama of Bhrashtachar. So I think every candidate who is filing under Representative of People's Act, whether it is from Bharatiya Janata Party or from Congress or from any political party, are filing kabulatnama of Bhrashtachar. This is the statement what Bharatiya Janata Party wants to say for every people who are declaring their assets under Representative of People's Act. Now coming back to Wayanad, if you see Wayanad,
only about Priyanka Gandhi. I'm talking about Priyanka Gandhi.
Yeah.
She's a party leader. She's just contesting from Wayanad. Have you heard of her?
Why are you
I'm sure
getting
you've heard of her,
frustrated?
right?
Why am I
We're
talking
talking
about
about
Shazia,
her.
let him make
We're
his
talking
point and
about
then you
what
please
she
counter.
has. No, stay specific.
No,
Why
he's
are
coming
you
to
going-
Wayanad.
why are you
He's coming to
frustrating?
Wayanad. Yes,
Why are you
Nikuji.
getting frustrated? I am just
No,
replying to your
nobody is
query,
getting
what you're
frustrated. She
reading.
thought it is important for her to put her point and to make that intervention. I'm
So
just
I'm
requesting.
just putting
I'm
my
just
counter.
requesting all panelists to please first make their point and then there'll be enough time to counter. Please
I'm
complete.
just
Wayanad,
putting my
Nikul Patel.
counter.
Hanji.
Yeah.
And please come
Now
to the
one-
point, sir. Bhumika बहुत
Yeah.
आप बांध
Now
देते कभी
when-
कभार.
Now, when we come to Wayanad election, Bharatiya Janata Party is not finding any of the point in the entire thing about Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, so that they want to just moot a voice that, see, this is what they are doing, Bhrashtachar. Till date, in the entire history, if something is happening, then since last 10 years, income tax department is there, is governed by whom? Then all EDs and CBIs, they are trying to do whatever they want, but they are not able to put anyone in behind the bars. If you feel that Congress is doing Bhrashtachar in this country, I wish that Ms. Shazia should ask the government that even Pradhan Mantri, who is speaking now and when, that all are Bhrashtacharis, so must be put behind the bars. They are not able to do it. Now, whenever any query is raised that about 80 crores, we are into appeal, and definitely as per the law, we have a due right. If some tax has been raised by the department, we can put our query. Let judiciary and let the tribunal decide what the outcome of that is. But over here, if you see, Wayanad and Raebareli, both were won by Rahul Gandhi ji, and we are sure enough that again Bharatiya Janata Party is not going to win this seat, and that is why they want to create some mess
okay.
out of it, and they don't
So-
find anything wrong, and that is why they are sticking
Okay.
it to
If
this
you yield, let Shazia Almi
Sabulatnama of
counter that.
Bhrashtachar.
Yeah, 10 saal, 10 years, you had the records. Even before 10 years, this issue of Robert Vadra has been raised. But what's been done about it? If there is a serious problem about his income and the tax that is owed, where are his assets frozen? Where is that matter settled? You raised National Herald, Shazia Almi.
Okay,
What's
so
happening on
there
that
is-
case?
so-
People are out on bail since 2015 on that case. Has it
Sure.
moved forward? So many questions are asked. Oh, you are in power. You got the government satta. आपके पास है, आगे बढ़ाइए.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, we are in power, and we are the government at the center in many states. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to the National Herald case, you know that both Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are out on bail, and this is under the judicial ambit, so to speak, and that is how it's going to be. If there was any real witch hunting, or then you would have seen very different results, right? If there was indeed any intervention or interference of the government, the very fact that the court is going slow, they're still out on bail, means that there is nothing being done which is targeting them. So that's a point that I want to make. Secondly, I have been waiting very patiently for what for my friend from the opposite side has to say about this complete disparity of income, not just between the spouses, but also of the IT notices that have been sent earlier. Now, Robert Vadra has appealed and has answered, but the fact is that they have been left pending. The very fact they're now in light, because where every time you make this affidavit, you have to show, and let me tell you, it's also the source of income. So as to how much you own and what is the whole trail, the provenance of it, so to speak, but also what has been your source, where you've earned the money from, how much tax have you paid, and so on and so forth. But here in this case, when you actually there to filing your affidavit,
Right.
you have to show all of your income and savings along with your husband's. So it is mandatory. Now a lot of things are clearly missing, and whatever property you own has to be shown at market value. You cannot say that this is so, this is also there. So now I'm very amused and by this, that none of that is being discussed here, but that BJP is doing this, Congress is doing that. Nobody cares about that. This is a
Right.
very serious matter. It can get Priyanka Vadra in great trouble. Also, nobody knows what is the source of income of Priyanka Vadra Gandhi, of Robert Vadra. Surely they have offices, they have businesses, they have work. Now her income seems to have gone beyond Robert Vadra's. So people would want to know. It's for every citizen. Where have you got this money from? Has somebody gifted it to you? How has it come to you? Why is your name on it? What, this is your particular asset? Are you paying taxes on
Right.
this? So this is how it is. It is how the all over the world is how it works. Rules can't be different from the royal family of India.
Right. Nikul Patel, and then Abhishek Banerjee is with us. Yes, Nikul Patel.
Just a short note on it. You asked ma'am about the government, what action is taken. She is telling that nothing is being done since long. So she is countering her own government that government is doing nothing. Appeals are appeals are
No,
there.
no.
Judiciary, sir.
Yeah. The rule of law
But I
prevails.
didn't say that,
No,
right?
rule of law prevails. The fact of the matter is.
The executive has to submit documents to the court.
Correct.
I don't understand.
No. 1 minute, Nikul Patel. If tomorrow the executive and the administrative wing start acting, then the Congress takes to the streets to say which hunt is happening. Today you are sitting here and saying what is happening, nobody is doing anything about it.
I am not telling.
No.
Shazia ji is telling.
No, I'm just saying you आप लोग का तो
See, I-
convenient
I-
है,
I-
आप लोग
nothing is
convenient है,
being
जिस साइड से ढोल से आवाज ज्यादा आएगी उस साइड का ढोल बजाएंगे. But that's also politics. But please answer this: is it possible that you have assets of 88 crore but income of only 15 lakhs?
See, if opposition finds that the affidavit is false, they can file the complaint. And as per Representative People's Act 1951, the false affidavit is liable for cancellation of nomination. I would like to make clear of that. Now,
Yes.
whenever the affidavit file, it is public.
Of course.
That is what I am telling. But in Wayanad, Bharatiya Janata Party feels that they are not going to win, and that is why they don't have any issue of there, and that is why they are raising.
Okay,
this.
so you are
People know
saying
very
that
well.
if
This
somebody wants
document
to
is
challenge
public.
this affidavit,
Document is public now. Public will decide what is fact
So-
and
so
what
you-
is wrong.
you are
But if
saying,
you are
Nikul
telling
Patel-
that- if you are telling that last 10 years nothing action is being taken, then who is responsible?
correct.
Who is responsible?
Income tax department is responsible, courts are responsible, and also the litigants are responsible. Be it National Herald, be it the aspect of Skylight Hospitality and what happened in Gurugram with the land grab and all that office for profit, etc. All the cases are still pending in our courts, and whether it's been put in cold storage deliberately or otherwise, that's how things are functioning. One wonders, because Abhishek Banerjee, if they want, they can have a Sunwai at 5 a.m. If they want, they can have an urgent listing at 9 a.m. and have the hearing done at 4 p.m. and the judgment coming out by 6:30 p.m. So if that wants, the courts can do that. If they want, then it cannot be heard for about 10 years, and there can be entities who are in bail, who are out on bail on corruption charges, and by the Delhi High Court granted bail, and still active in politics and aspiring to be leaders of the future or whatever, however. So, but that's the system. Let me ask you this. Is it possible for you to have assets of 88 crore and still show an income of 15 lakh? Are you willing to believe the affidavit that's been filed, or are you willing to challenge this affidavit?
Yeah, so Anand, so I will basically make 3 points, all of them as just an ordinary person. The first thing is that just what, like you said, everybody in this country knows how the system works, how difficult it is to, bring or actually win any case against somebody as powerful as, the Vadra Gandhis. But, and the second point I would say is, today we are hearing that, there is some litigation pending, I'm sure, about how much amount, I'm not sure. I read somewhere it's almost 80 crores is the various pending charge disputes and all. Now, as a common person, I would ask, did the Congress party think that it is only today that this matter should have come out? If I go and ask somebody on the street that did you think that this information should have been in the public domain before? I understand that legally they were not required to put it. But if I go and tell an ordinary person that, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and her family has been involved in tax disputes of almost 80 crore rupees, do you think this information should have come out before, or should it have come out last moment just because, the legal requirement is there before filing the nomination? I think the ordinary person will say, no, I should have known this long ago. And the fact that this information is only coming out at the last moment, when it is absolutely legally required, I think people will find it suspicious. And then, of course, when some people, they are claiming that, their assets are almost 80, 85 crores, or maybe I think 77 crores somewhere I read, is that, and their yearly income is only few lakhs, then I think many people will again find it suspicious. But at the same time, we are ordinary people. We know how the system works. We know how difficult it is to prove things in court against powerful
But
people.
aren't our
And
tax laws in our country, Abhishek Banerjee, such that income of the company need not necessarily mean income of an individual?
Yes,
So here he
absolutely.
is declaring the income as an individual. He may have stakes and he may be director in companies, and some of these companies under which these holdings are happening, they may be making money. that doesn't mean that accrues to the individual. But wouldn't you want to ask the BJP, who are crying foul on this affidavit today, what are you doing over the last 10 years about it?
Exactly. That is why this whole system is so murky, because all the levers of power, they have definitely been with the BJP. And at the same time, it has to be proved in court. So, litigation is going on. As a common person, I was very surprised to hear that such a big dispute of such a big amount is pending in court. I feel this thing should have been disclosed in public domain before. It is their legal prerogative. They can do what they want. But as a common citizen, I would have liked to know about this before. I feel bad that I'm only hearing this today.
Right, Shazi Almi, final word. Have to wind up. Ji. What are you doing about it? What is the BJP, what's the government, what's the income tax authority doing about it?
So one personally, one was neither in the know, or nor was it interesting for me to know as to how much Priyanka Gandhi owned and how much her husband owned and how much did they declare. I thought they would be paying their taxes or whatever. But now when this is in public light, clearly they have bungled up in a huge way, because this is a huge anomaly. And it is not my business. This is between any individual, any citizen of the country and the Income Tax Department of India and the various agencies who work on it. It was not, there cannot be any mala fide intent of any political party to go after anybody and have RTIs as to who's done what and how. Nobody's looking at that. But something like this, when it goes through scrutiny of the highest order, because this is an affidavit you're filing in the court.
Right.
There is bound to be a lot of answers that Priyanka Gandhi will have to give, Robert Vadra will have to give. Yeah, Income Tax Department too, as to why they've been dragging their feet. But the very fact that there were these notices asking for more than 80 crores makes you also wonder how much money was there to have 80 crores as an income tax.
Whether money was there, or was that just an overestimation by the income tax department, which then then the relevant party will have to argue and settle.
Whether it's overestimation.
My point is for the nearly a decade there are cases that are pending on office for profit and also clear case of corruption, which just needs to be getting into the motions with regular hearing, etc., which seem to have gone into cold storage. Now, who's responsible for that? And if the crackdown on corruption and the corrupt has really not happened under the BJP regime, can the BJP turn around and question this whenever any of the Gandhis comes and the spotlight is shown on them? I'm going to leave it at that at the moment. Thank you very, very much to our panelists. We're going to take a very, very short break.